Hey guys, welcome to Rach's Real Talk episode 4. So today I'm going to be talking to you about yo-yo dieting and emotional eating and how we can set up your 2024 so that it does become the year that you reach your goal. So, growing up, I witnessed my mom going through many different diets at the start of January. So, it would be one year starting this diet, another January starting this diet. There were times where she was successful, and there were times where she wasn't successful. But either way, January was the time where she was going to start her journey to health. But unfortunately, it was never something that she reached, or if she did reach, that she was able to maintain because it happened every single January, which means that she was a persistent yo yo dieter. So, for yourself, let's think about it. How many yo yo dieters or emotional eaters this January will say, "This is my year. This is it. This is my year." And why do they say, "This is my year"? Because obviously last year they failed. It wasn't their year. But this year is their year. Now, let's think about it. You have probably not trained or eaten well for the last 12 to 20 weeks. Possibly, people come out of summer and they start to slow down. They haven't trained because they feel that I'm just going to wait till the new year. It's a long time to not train or eat healthy, but it's fact and it does happen. People will take 12 to 20 weeks off and they'll start fresh in the new year. Now, if you haven't trained for that amount of time and you now set yourself this unrealistic goal of, I'm going to train for the next 5 to 6 days a week. I'm going to restrict my food, even though I've just come out of Christmas and ate food in abundance and drank lots of alcohol. I'm now going to say no to bread. I'm not going to eat biscuits. I'm not going to eat chocolate. I'm going to restrict myself. I'm going to undereat and overtrain. Why do you think that people only last until the 12th of January? They start on the 2nd and they fail by the 12th. Why? Because they actually can't sustain that level of training or that unrestricted diet because it's not enjoyable. It's not something that they can do long term. So, the best diet or the best way to eat in the new year is the way that you plan to eat for the rest of the year, ensuring that it's going to help you to get to your goal. Now, if you think about it, you have possibly consumed a lot of calories over Christmas. Taking such a big leap and restricting yourself to a small amount of calories, you will start to feel miserable quickly because of the amount of calories that you're starting to consume now is a level that you're not used to. So this is where you need to think smart. Okay, yeah, I need to be in a calorie deficit. I need to eat smaller amounts of food and I need to restrict my calories to get my fat loss result. But if I've just come from eating this many calories for the last 2 weeks, maybe I'm going to stagger how small or how restrictive I plan my meals. And that's going to help you. Instead of going from 1 to 100, it's going to help you long term. And then you want to think about the fact if you've constantly failed in the past, are you now going to start this year the exact same way you started when you failed? Because then you know that you're already going to fail. If last year you joined a gym or you were doing home training sessions and you were trying to train 5, 6, even 7 days a week and you couldn't sustain it, why are you going to do that this year? Have you changed your job? Are you now part time? Have you now got extra hours in the day that you can find to train more? What's changed in your circumstances that now allows you to go from doing nothing to now training 7 days a week? Probably nothing's changed, except you're the all or nothing person who feels that the only way they can get results is to go extreme. Now, we don't want to do that. So, this is how you're going to set up. If you're an emotional eater, you need to learn how to be mindful with your eating. So, if you're an emotional eater, you've got to pay attention to your hunger cues. Why am I hungry? Am I hungry because I am thirsty or hungry? Am I hungry because I'm hungry or angry? Am I hungry because I'm hungry or bored? Am I hungry because I'm hungry or stressed? You've got to understand the reason why you feel the need to eat. If you feel the need to eat is because you've had a certain amount of hours where you haven't consumed food, then that would be the fact that you really are hungry. If you're eating consistently over short windows, then you have to look at the habits that you're creating and why you feel the need to eat in such, you know, big quantities in short windows. So therefore you've got to be mindful with the reason why you're eating. And then you think to yourself, okay, when I am eating, am I eating slow? Am I being mindful about the food that I'm eating? Or am I eating and texting at the same time? Am I eating and going through my emails? Am I eating while I'm talking on the phone? Because all of this means that you're not going to be aware of the food that you're eating because you're now concentrating on something else. You're just eating while concentrating on something else. Or you're not even going to be aware that you've finished your food. How many times have you looked down to your plate to get that last bite and gone, oh, I've ate it. When did I eat that? Did I eat that? Somebody took that. Have I dropped it? And you start looking for it because you actually do not remember eating that last piece of whatever it is. So we've got to be more mindful. And then we think about the triggers as to why we eat. So when I help my ladies to journal, it's about knowing what triggers me to overconsume food or what triggers me to have this feeling of emotional eating. Is it work stress? Is it home stress? Is it frustration with yourself because you're not where you want to be? You have to identify what are the triggers to making you want to eat. And then when you do have this trigger of emotional eating, then you have to ask yourself, how long do I let this continue for? How much sugar do I consume when I'm going through this habit of emotional eating? Or is it takeaways that I'm having? Is it high fatty food? So you start to list all of the triggers, what it is that you're eating, what made you eat it. And when you start to look at this diary of habits, you can identify the things that's triggering. And then we can start to work at eliminating these these days, these triggers, and being more mindful. So that is a great thing to do. And it's great to journal because Monday to Sunday comes, you cannot remember what happened in the week as to know why you start to now feel bloated or why your jeans aren't fitting well or why you've possibly gained £3 on the scales. How are you going to know if you haven't tracked or journaled? Now, if I'm honest with you, I enjoy my food. I like to eat. I like to eat often. I like to eat and feel like I'm not on a fat loss phase. If I'm on a fat loss phase, I like to feel full. So over the years, I've mastered how I can get as much food as possible with it is as minimal calories as possible for the amount of calories I'm on. So let's think about somebody who eats fast foods or takeaways. They can probably consume their whole day's worth of calories in one takeaway. Now, for me, I want to eat 5 or 6 times a day. So I'm going to practice how I can get as many meals into my day and stay within my calories because I like to eat. I like food. And that's what I do for my clients because I know that if you're coming from an emotional eating background, you're going to want to feel like you can eat in the evening, or you're going to want to feel like you can have snacks at your desk at work. You're not going to want to feel like you're on a diet as such. So we have to learn how we can do that meticulously and still get a result. And then we think about those who are yo yo dieters. So, come January, you have probably Googled what diet is going to help me to lose my stomach in 2 weeks. How am I going to tone my arms in 7 days? How am I going to lose fat fast? Yo yo dieters will always look at the quickest way to lose weight. Extreme diets, ditch them, get rid of them. Fad diets, get rid of them. We are not trying to lose fat fast and not be able to maintain the result. We are trying to achieve long term sustainable results so that you can get to your goal and maintain it. If you've been overweight for 10 years, you are a patient person because you've been overweight for 10 years. So, what's wrong with waiting a year If it takes you a year to lose 5 or 6 stone, what's wrong with waiting a year? You've already shown patience in waiting 10 years. So another year isn't going to kill you. So this is where we now need to get rid of that mindset of, I need to get this weight off now, because guess what? It's not going to happen. You have to learn patience. I've lost count how many times I've coached a woman who's had weight loss surgery. I've coached women who have had weight loss surgery, and I've asked them, why have you come to me for coaching if you've had weight loss surgery? Well, I know why they've come to me, but I just want to ask them to see if they know why they've come to me. Now, the reason why they've come to me after weight loss surgery is simply because weight loss surgery does not teach you how to improve your relationship with food. Weight loss surgery does not motivate you to exercise. Weight loss surgery does not teach you how to maintain the weight you've lost through the surgery. So, therefore, not to say you've wasted your money or wasted your time, because, everyone each to their own, but it's not going to help you in the long term. So, you're still going to end up looking for another source to help you in your journey. So, it kind of defeats the object. Now, what I want to start to help you think about is, what can I do in my journey that's going to help me to look at the areas that I've improved that are not just scale victories. How many women only base their result on the scales? We've got to get rid of the habit of weighing as our only form of achievement, because that is not the only form of achievement that you should be looking at. In fact, weighing should be the last thing that you look at. Photographs, looking at your before and after pictures, measuring, looking at your waist difference, your hip circumference, how are your clothes now feeling? For my ladies that are over 50 and overweight, they say to me, I can get up the top of the stairs without feeling out of breath. That is a better victory for somebody who doesn't have a good fitness ability than losing £5 on the scales. If you're over 50, you've got lower back pain, knee pain, you feel out of breath when you're walking up the street or up the stairs, and now you're saying, I don't feel out of breath, or my back pain is lessened, or I don't feel as though my knees hurt as much. That is a bigger victory than weighing on the scales. So we've got to acknowledge and celebrate achievements beyond the scale, and just think about other areas that we're obviously improving. And then your mood, your mood, how irritable are you when you're overweight and unfit? You can become irritable with your kids. Your focus at work is low. You're irritable with work colleagues, probably your partner. And all of this is because you're not happy with yourself or your fitness level. What if you're now starting to feel better in your mood? You're less irritable, you're happier, you've got more focus at work. Is that not something to celebrate more than losing £8, £9? Of course, losing £8 and £9 is fantastic, but it's not just the only victory that I want you to focus on. So, of course, now you're thinking about, I've got to start my journey in 2024. I need to do this, I need to do that. And of course, it can feel overwhelming. This is why I want you to look at the way that you can start going into coaching or extra support, because now you've got to realize, if it is coming into year 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that you've failed yourself, you are not the person to help yourself. Put your hands up, be humble, and just say, I actually can't do it by myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So, this is why my 8-week program to help women to show up, I've brought it back for January, because I know January is a time where people are going to feel so overwhelmed that they're not going to know where to go, what to do, how to start, what to eat. So, having a taster of coaching to help you get on the right road to get through 2024 successfully, to achieve your goals finally, once and for all, is going to be the best option for you. So, what do I do in my one-to-one personalized coaching programs? So, whether you join me for 8 weeks as a stepping stone, or whether you join me for 8 weeks and then continue on with me I will ensure that your workouts are going to fit in line with your circumstances. So for me, I think 2 to 3 programmed workouts a week is absolutely fine for any woman, whatever your goal is, ensuring that for the rest of the week you stay active. So the mistake that a lot of people make is they'll probably train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Thursday, and do nothing on rest days. They just assume that because they've trained for 30 minutes or 60 minutes twice a week, they don't need to do anything else on rest days. But no, we still need to keep active. We still need to keep moving, whether this is just walking, just a leisurely walk, walking your dog, walking to the bus stop, walking the kids to school, just being active, whether this is doing something that's, your hobby, badminton, swimming, Pilates, whatever it is that just ensures that you're not staying sedentary, is going to help you, obviously, to increase your fitness, but also to help you to burn more calories. That's going to help you to lose more fat. Now, implementing sleep hygiene is essential. So I always make sure that I implement sleep hygiene, because as busy women, busy moms in menopause that can't even sleep, we need to ensure that 4 to 6 hours of sleep has to get broken and put into the bin. And we need to go for more deeper quality sleep, whether it's 6 hours solid or whether it's 6 to 8 hours of solid sleep. It needs to be something that's consistent. And I help you to do that through habit changing and sleep hygiene practices. And that's not something that a lot of women at the moment focus on. So many people are reading emails in the evening, late at night, getting up, going for a wee, going downstairs, going for a drink, making something to eat. They've got no sleep hygiene, and then they wonder why their stomach fat isn't reducing. So if you want to lose fat, you're going to learn how to sleep, and you have to be consistent in doing that. So I'm going to help you with that. And then obviously we have to aim for building lean muscle tissue, especially as we get over the age of 35, because this is going to help us obviously to get a better physique look, as well as keeping the body fat low. If you're somebody that's carried a lot of fat and you want to lose fat, then what you want to do is build lean muscle, because there's nothing worse than losing weight and retaining fat. Because what happens? You start to look loose and saggy, and then you're still not happy with your overall result. So we don't want loose and saggy. We want you to look lean and strong. So if you feel that at this moment in time you have had enough of emotional eating, you've had enough of yo-yo dieting, and you want to show up for yourself for the last time, you know why? Because you're frustrated. You've had enough. Who wants to be a yo-yo dieter for 10 years? You want to be a healthier version of you. You want to be a better version of you. You don't want to be someone else. You want to be a better version of you. And the way to do that is to invest in yourself. Now, for me, seeing my mom fail to maintain her weight loss, yo-yo dieting, obviously developing dementia at such a young age, has made me realize that if women don't get this right, these are the things that they can lead to down the road, down the line. Cancer, menopause will lead to Alzheimer's, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. And these are illnesses that, some illnesses can't be avoided, but these are illnesses that can be prevented if we just prioritize our health. So that's why I am inspired to help women to feel free. It's freedom. If you continue to fail yourself, you will never experience true freedom. If you wake up in the morning and all you're thinking about is your body or your weight, or you put on clothes for work and you're looking at yourself in the mirror with hatred and disgust, you're not free. You're not free. Freedom is when you're completely happy with how you look. And that's not because you're a model. This is because you've become confident in your skin. And that's what I want to do for women. I want them to become confident in their skin and become fit. So I've decided again to bring back my 8 week challenge, one to one personalized coaching to kickstart your journey to help you to say 2024 is my year, and this is the year that I show up for myself. So if you want to feel the joy of what it's like to be free and finally get to your goal, I suggest that you book in a call with me. I'll go through your goals, discuss what we can do to help you on that journey and get that 2024 body goal, mind goal that you've been waiting for. See you in the next episode. Remember, book in that call.